You are now tuned in to Go Time Dolphins with Charlie Touche and Kadeem Simmons, the Miami Dolphins podcast that's for the fans and by the fans.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. Go. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Go. Don't waste no time.
This is strictly for the YouTube listeners. If you're not watching on YouTube, I said YouTube listeners. If you're not watching on YouTube, head on over. Go Time Dolphins YouTube. Charlie, we don't discuss what we're going to wear beforehand, do we?
Nah, we don't discuss nothing actually.
Because we're kind of matching. I feel like I've got the inverse in terms of the top. I've got the inverse to what you're wearing, and that wasn't planned. That was just how it turned out.
Yeah, yours is pretty dope.
I was thinking, I like yours as well. Like, so I was thinking, I kind of need that one as well. So I've got this in. Actually, I've got it right next to me. Hold on. I've got it in like the grey, I guess.
Yeah.
But I kind of want it in what you've got as well, like with the
That's
orange.
hard. So I got this one. You see how it's orange here? I got this in all aqua, but it's back home. It's back home. So
like
when I go back home, I'll put it in the suitcase.
The drawers have pockets?
Nah.
Yeah, see, mine doesn't, and I want pockets. Like I kind of want to. I feel like if I wear this, I need to wear something over it because it doesn't have pockets. It's quite annoying, but no. Outside of that, 2 days removed from beating the Patriots. A lot of discourse around that. Might not get into it, but overall, how are you?
I'm good, man. Hold on. What discourse?
Discourse, mostly around QB1, which we didn't get into in the last episode, and I don't really see the point in getting into it in this episode, unless you really, really, really want to discuss Tua's performance. I just don't see the point.
Yeah, so I seen the game. I played it back again. It's Go Time Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins podcast that goes not only across the pond, but across the world. I'm your boy, Charlie Touche. I got my co-host, Kadeem Simmons, with me. It's always for the fans, him by the fans. Your favorite podcast. Miami Dolphins are 1-0 in the 2022 season. 2022. We here now. They old news. So, man, a little recap. Tua went 23 for 33, threw for 270 yards, 1 touchdown, no picks. I don't know, man. I think we're not even gonna start with Tua, but the touchdown that we gave up, I watched it back. And that was like Xavier Howard doing his own thing.
You think so?
If you watch it, Jalen Phillips is like looking around like, bro, who's supposed to be over here? You know what I'm saying? And you know, Howard be improvising and throwing his teammates under the bus. Oh, miscommunication. Like, bro, just say you did your own thing. And, you know, I wanted to improvise. I wanted to play off and try to catch a pick somewhere and then live with it. You know what I'm saying? Don't. Oh, yeah, miscommunication. Like what he did with friend of the podcast, Javon Holland, when he got beat over the top. And it looked like it was on Javon Holland against Atlanta last year.
It's an odd one. I still have time to go back and watch it back. That's my Thursday homework ahead of the Ravens game. But from first viewing, I felt like it was that thing that the Dolphins have done over the past few years and taken a pass rusher and put him into coverage. We've done it a lot I say a lot. We've done it more than I would like to see on Sunday with Melvin Ingram. And I was like, why is he in coverage for? Having Penny's head back and watch a passer. Like, can we stop doing this? And I felt like that was kind of a try and fool McCall to throw early because Phillips isn't rushing from that side. Have Phillips drop back and intercept it. I think it was might have been Christian Wilkins done it a couple of years ago. So at the time, I felt it was on Phillips to not cover the flats quick enough. But at the same time, I don't know what Phillips is doing in the flats regardless. Like, I just don't think that little ploy which we've done, I just don't think we need to do it going forward. There's certain people who you can drop back into coverage, and Jalen Phillips, Melvin Ingram, Christian Wilkins, Emmanuel Ogba aren't those guys.
I would prefer they just put their hand in the ground and just go at the quarterback, but that's not the scheme we run. We run a hybrid defense where you got to be prepared for all kind of different looks, and that's why it's successful, because you never know what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, where it's going to happen. The tendencies, if you have a tendency in your game plan, whether it's offense or defense, people could to tendencies in your scheme, people could game plan for it. So the more mysterious we could be, the harder it is for people to game plan for us. So, nah, man, I think that was a blown assignment over there. I don't even think it had anything to do with Phillips, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah, I get that. Not sure whether we're going to discuss Tua, but the Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones said that they expect Dak to be back in the next 4 weeks. That surely puts to bed any rumors or any conversation of Teddy Two Gloves going to Dallas. That's done, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think it was ever a thing. I just wanted to put it out there, like, oh, what do you think about it? Do you think it's a possibility? I don't think it was really a thing. Oddly enough, Dan Orlovsky of ESPN had a similar surgery with his thumb when he played, and he came back relatively quickly, 4 weeks, I think he said. And he said, yeah, I could grip the ball and I could fake the funk and practice, basically. But when it came to game time decision where I really needed to hold the ball harder or squeeze it harder and try to fit it in tight windows, I couldn't grab it like he wanted to. He couldn't grab it like he wanted to, is what he was saying. So he was like, there's no way Dak's going to come back within 4 weeks and think he's going to be as accurate as he needs to be. And, you know, you just have the dexterity in your hand still and your fingers still. So I don't know what they're going to do, but I know we got Baltimore coming up, and it's the beginning of a pretty, I don't want to say tough stretch, but it's a pretty interesting stretch we're about to walk up on. We got Baltimore, we got Buffalo, we got Cincinnati. And go ahead.
Well, I was very quickly, I was going to say, on the last episode, I said that Charlie Wilson said he was going to watch a Buffalo game next week.
I thought you said Seahawks game.
So that's what I thought, because he's a Seattle fan. So I was like, he's going to go watch Seattle Buffalo. But I looked at the message back, and he's in Orlando. So I think he's going to go to Miami Buffalo. So that could be one to watch out for.
Hold on. Charlie Wilson is in Orlando right now.
Yes.
And he's going to go to the Miami Buffalo game. It's in Miami.
Yeah.
That's your pressure. Picture wasn't ratchet. That's from Ace Ventura, something you might not never know about, man.
Why do you think I laughed?
I'm just saying, bro. Like, yeah, man. Hey, so I actually might be down there around that time. So CNC machine might be in the building. But what do you make of the stretch, the real quick test we about to have coming up in the first quarter of the season?
This is when we find out what the 2023 Miami Dolphins are going to be. Because this is, you've got the reigning AFC champs, the Super Bowl losers, the AFC East champs for the last few years, and a Ravens team which I think everyone believes are going to be good because they're the Ravens, despite the fact that we completely slapped them up last year, and Lamar Jackson has not been the same since. So if we have genuine aspirations of making a playoff run, then we have to come out of these next 3 games, I will say, to be negative, at least 1 and 2. At least. Just before you jumped on, I was watching the Same Old Dolphins show, and they were saying that the one thing the Dolphins have over the last few years is they get into these really bad losing deficits, and then midway through the season you're playing catch up and you don't make the playoffs because of it. The Dolphins have already won one game, which is great, but we was here last year. We went 1-0, great, perfect, and then a few snaps into week 2 against Buffalo, 2 was gone, we lose 7 games. So we need to come out of this stretch, to me, at the bare minimum 2-2, and that's the absolute bare minimum. If we can come out of a 3-1 or even better 4-0, then I think people have to really genuinely, take a look at the Dolphins and go, okay, these guys are legit. Because not only would we have beaten the Ravens, but beaten the Bengals and the Buffalo Bills. What do you think?
When 40 Acres and a Hellcat came onto the show and said, "Oh, one game at a time," right? He tried to keep the what we call it, he was in media mode. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like he was vibing for a little bit and then he snapped into media mode on us. And he's like, "Oh, one game at a time, one game at a time." So we don't have to keep one game at a time here on Go Time Dolphins. And when you have a former MVP in Lamar Jackson and the consensus MVP in Josh Allen and a Super Bowl participant, we'll call it, and Joey Bullets, yeah, people are going to talk. People are going to want to see how you look against these teams. The Kittens don't scare me, bro. I'm not afraid of that team in Cincinnati, bro. We're going to beat them. I'm convinced. The only reason why, and it's not even a reason, the only thing, and I'm not concerned, I don't want to say the only thing I'm concerned about, the only thing that is on my mind about that Cincinnati game is that we're coming off the Buffalo game, going into a short week up to Cincinnati. That is it. You know what I'm saying? All right, it's not in our favor, but as far as team versus team on one whole complete week of rest, or 1 week on 1 week, yeah, man, I'm not afraid of Cincinnati. Lamar Jackson. I think we have the blueprint for Lamar Jackson. We showed the rest of the league the blueprint for Lamar Jackson. So last year, I was extremely comfortable going into the Baltimore game. Like, yo, we're going to beat Baltimore. I'm not as comfortable right now. Like, oh, we're going to beat Baltimore. I'm not saying that. That's perfect. I'm not saying we're going to beat Baltimore the way I'm saying we're going to beat Cincinnati, right? So if my feet were held to the fire, you got to pick a team. Your legs depend on it. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to say, all right, the Dolphins are going to win this. I really think we're going to win, but I'm not as convinced that we will win. Like, all right, I'm not saying on easy money, when easy money segment comes up this week, it won't be take the run line. I'm not going to say take the run line at all. You know what I'm saying? So like I did with the Patriots, like, yo, take that 3-5. We're out here. So these are going to be some games, man. It's just like this, just like I said the last episode, when two people are fighting, anything can happen. It's a fight. Anything can happen. Yeah, one person is supposed to be the underdog and the other person is supposed to win this fight, but it's still a fight. And with these two teams here in Miami and Baltimore, I believe the national media doubts us. I believe so many people dislike Tua and don't believe in Tua. And there's an unknown in Mike McDaniel being a first-time head coach. And you have proven commodities in Lamar Jackson and proven commodity in John Harbaugh, that people are going to be like, oh, we know we get here. So that's why the odds reflect the odds, which is +4 and +3.5. So I like us to put the league on notice here. Like, hey, I don't know if you thought we were just going to lay down. The game is in Baltimore, and last year was a fluke. I think we're going to come in and say, nah, we here. And we're going to put the league on notice.
Yeah. We delve into the ins and outs of the games and our preview shows and stuff like that, but I wanted to kind of raise it now. It's when we let Juwan James go a couple of years ago to the Broncos, everyone was kind of like, why are you doing that for? The Dolphins don't have the best O line. He's one of the better pieces, but the guy's injury prone. The guy tore his Achilles on Sunday. He's out for the season. So the Dolphins won't be facing Juwan James. But with a somewhat weakened defensive line against this Ravens team, do you think the key to beating them, and I'll probably ask the same question again on Thursday, but do you think the key to beating the Ravens is just send out that all-out blitz? Or do you think that the Ravens will be expecting that and the key to go is to disguise it? Because there was a few times on Sunday where I think everyone expected the all-out blitz and the Dolphins put guys into coverage and it was kind of like, oh, didn't quite expect that. What do you reckon? Do you reckon we basically run it back, or is it the chess game? You think we're going to send it all out blitz, so we're going to drop Jalen Phillips into coverage, and if you don't, you're not going to notice. Friend of the podcast, Brandon Jones blitzing you from the edge, sack. There you go.
So I was just watching this TV over here, and I was actually rewinding it because this is the game. I was watching the game again, and I played it back to the very first play of the game, the bad snap, Judon tipped it, and the ball fell short. It was intended for Tyreek Hill. The first preseason pass, or not the first preseason pass, but you remember that game we played against the Eagles, the first play of the game on offense, we went over the top. This play that they ran, where it was a bad snap and a tip pass, it looked like that had a chance to be like a 17-yard gain on the first play of the game, right? To answer your question, I believe we held back against the Patriots on purpose. So we didn't put on film nothing of recent that anybody can watch and say, like Baltimore can say, okay, we're going to get ready for this. I think we want to come in and surprise everyone. Lamar Jackson, especially. Like, he's not the best drop back and kill you passer in the league. You know what I'm saying? So I think we're going to mess around with him, show him some things, disguise some things. And I was just talking to LB, and I was telling him, yo, I'm not doubling nobody. We don't have to double anybody over there. I love Rashad Bateman. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think he made 2 Shades 24, but he was the first receiver that I was going to put on my 2 Shades 24 of that list of that year. And I didn't, because he started getting popular. But, and he ended up going in the first round, I think. So I love Rashad Bateman, but I don't love Lamar Jackson dicing us up. So what I would do is I'm not doubling anybody. I'm going to have an extra man on Lamar Jackson, and I'm going to disguise some things, and I'm going to come sometimes at him in the zero, and I'm going to drop back sometimes in the zero. So now he's going to have to do the math. He's going to have to think. He's going to have to do the reads. He's going to have to, okay, I think they're coming, and then we don't come. Okay, I don't think they're coming, and then we do come. So I don't expect this game to be a shootout, but I do expect this game to be tougher than last year when we blew them out.
Yeah, it's an interesting one as well, because I feel like the Dolphins have a track team on offense, but also have guys like Jerome Baker and Channing Tindall on defense that can, kind of go sideline to sideline in terms of speed and stop Lamar Jackson from escaping the pocket, or them QB design runs, which he loves to do and stuff like that. And if anything, it's like you said, if you're going to beat us, you're going to beat us dropping back 40, 50 times and passing. That's how the Ravens, or I think the Dolphins, are going to try and make the Ravens beat them. It's one of the things where if Lamar Jackson puts up 400 passing yards through the year, you go, dude, like, what can you do? I think it's one of those things where, we might see a bit more Channing Tindall. I think we're definitely going to see a lot more kick on Kader Kohu. I think we're going to be another, a healthy scratch. But again, we'll discuss that on Thursday. But yeah, it's certainly interesting. And to go back to that first play of the game, I think that's a touchdown, because if that's on the money, Tyreek turns and he's gone. There's no one close to him. He's like it's one of those things where I'm not a narrative guy, but same way that Eagles game, first throw, boom, massive gain. Could you imagine Hard Rock Stadium, first throw, Tyreek Hill gone, touchdown? That's just one of those things where we don't have this conversation days later, or even in the immediate aftermath, or everyone going, still not quite sure.
And I like it. It's
Yeah.
cool. Don't be sure about my quarterback. Y'all the only ones not sure about the quarterback. You know what I'm saying? The people inside the building are sure about our quarterback. So I like the fact that they're still, man, I don't know about Tua still. Yeah, bad snap, messed up the first play of the game, so it don't go to the house. Cool. I actually love it. Thank you. But what you said, I cut you off, Kadeem, but PFF's highest rated rookie in week 1, Cater Kohu. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes back to what you were saying about just now with Tyreek Hill, bro, and the first play of the game, and bro, we were up 17-10. You know what I'm saying? And we were still going for the jugular, bro. There were still plays that Mike McDaniel was like, nah, let's go over the top. And the game is getting out of proportion, and we're still going for the throats. So I'm like, yo, I kind of like it when Mike McDaniels is trying to be trying to put Belichick in the guillotine. Might be why Belichick didn't appreciate it and gave him that little handshake, like, all right, get out of here. You know what I'm saying?
There was a play right near the end of the game. I'm talking like, I think it's under 2-minute warning, and Tua rolls like the game is done, like finito. I'm expecting them to kneel it out or run it through the middle, wherever it is. Nope. Play action. Tua rolls out to the left. He's got the first down if he runs, and he throws it to. It might be in Trent Sherfield, I believe.
On the goal line.
Yeah. It's a bad throw, skips it and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I would just go in. Yeah, Mike McDaniel, like the score 20-7. Mike McDaniel doesn't care. McDaniel wants to stat pad. That's one. You know when you're playing Madden against your boy and it's like, this game shouldn't be that close. Like you think you can hang with me? Nah. This is, I'm going to score another touchdown to be salty. So now we're going to have to fight. Basically pads down, fists up, and it's funny. Belichick after the game was saying that, it was a close game, and we got into Dolphins territory like multiple times, and people were like, the only 2 times I think the Patriots snapped the ball twice inside the Dolphins 40, once for the touchdown and once for the interception. That was the only 2 times. Like the Patriots didn't do much with the ball, so Belichick was clearly upset. Clearly, he's at a stage in his career where, like same old Dolphins, and so many have said, we own the Patriots. Like the Patriots have now become the little brother, just like, get out of there. Like we don't care about you no more.
As advertised, because we thought that was going to happen. We thought as soon as the 12 era was over in New England, the Dolphins were going to rule the division. We were going to take over, and it was going to be our division after that dynasty was over. And we laid down, and Buffalo snuck up on us. Like Buffalo snuck in there, took over our position, and now they big brother in us, and I don't appreciate that. Good thing for us, what Josh Allen is doing is not sustainable. Like, bro, shit right. Steve texted me today or yesterday and said, yeah, man, Josh Allen running like he's Jim Brown. Bro, listen, like, I'm gonna be real with you. And this is not Buffalo week, but since we're talking about the state of the division, again, there aren't quarterbacks that can take the hits that Josh Allen is taking and still play through it. Like, they're going to deteriorate. As a human being, you're going to deteriorate when a 6'6", 350-pound linebacker continues to hit you in the ribs. You're going to feel it. You're not going to be as effective as you were prior to those hits. I'm going to run through the list again. Andrew Luck, Cam Newton, RG3. Lamar Jackson got hurt. He's running quarterback, right? Yes, Josh Allen, for argument's sake, is better than all of those dudes. But at the same time, running backs can't take those hits. without feeling the effect of them. You know what I'm saying? That's why running backs don't get paid anymore. Like, yo, you're a running back. We're going to use you for 5 years. You're going to take all the hits, and you're not going to be good anymore. Josh Allen is acting like a running back, and he's going to accumulate all these hits, and it's going to be a wrap. So, nah, man, I'm good. Josh Allen, yeah, he'll be around for a few years, but we don't have to worry about Josh Allen long term. And y'all heard it on GTD here first. About that one play, I think it was only a minute left, Kadeem. I think it was a minute, and I could be wrong, but I thought it was like a minute left. Tua rolled out to his left. He's one hopped at the Trent Sherfield on the goal line, and I felt like he could have ran and just dove and got the first, and it's the end of the game. There was closing in on him. He could have ran for it, slid, got the first, it would have been game over. But he didn't, and he threw that ball. And I prefer not to throw it, keep the clock running, go down, take a knee, whatever you want to do. But yeah, man.
Yeah, I think it might have been a few plays before where Jalen, Tua found Jalen Waddle, and Waddle's kind of run to the sideline, and he just gives himself up because he's like, no, you're either going to burn your timeouts or the game's going to go. So I know, like, we haven't skirted around Tua. We just don't feel the need to break down Tua after a victory where he went 69% for his passes, all that kind of stuff. But
and he had 2 drops. Tyreek Hill had 2 drops.
Yeah,
so he could have went 25 for 33, and he had a couple throwaways. So it's not like those 23 for 33 was 10 incomplete passes that were off target or something. So he threw the ball away a couple times. Tyreek Hill had 2 drops, and the only thing that I need to happen with Tua, and you know what? There was a play where I want to say it wasn't Judon, it was someone else for the Patriots came, broke he was in Tua's chest as soon as the snap happened. Tua threw it away late. It looked bad. It looked almost like a fumble. It was too close to you, bro. Take the sack or throw it away sooner is what everyone was saying. But we had backup linemen in. 3 of the 5 linemen weren't even starters in on that play. Hunt was at right tackle. Liam Eichenberg was at left tackle, and there was backups in on that play, bro, because people were injured. So yeah, and then LB was like, well, if Tua knows that there's backups in, he should get the ball out faster. So I'm like, yo, it depends on what the play calls for. Does the play call for a 3-step drop? Does the play call for a 5-step drop? Does McDaniel call a 5-step drop, trusting that the O-line can make these blocks? We don't know. But I do know, yeah, you either got to take the sack or throw it away. But I'm pretty sure he wasn't expecting that pressure in his chest that fast. But other than that, bro, we're only talking about 3.5 plays where, I don't like that from Tua. Literally, just 3.5 plays.
I think there's a play which he is similar to the whole he went to throw it away, but where he threw it to, I think it should have been an interception. Like, I think a pay to play gets one.
Nah, so that was improvising. So again, here's another thing. When it was, I don't want to say improvising, but it was off script is the better terminology. Remember when we played Atlanta and Waddle it was a scramble drill, and Waddle was here and Tua threw it and Waddle moved, and it was a pick. It's off script. You know what I'm saying? Like, clearly the play was not designed for Tua to throw that ball like in that situation. So it was off script, wasn't supposed to happen, and you're trying to improvise. That's how you get that pick. It was very similar in Jacksonville, but it was a more egregious pick in Jacksonville. When it came to this play, it was almost the same thing. The route concept was already finished, and now it's, well, he looks open, I'm gonna try to throw it. Waddle's probably trying to come back to his quarterback to help out, and it was off script. It wasn't like a design route where the ball was 7 yards off the route. That's not gonna happen. People are like the dude on Twitter who, look at Tua. Like, bro, it's the first play of the game, it got batted down, and there's no context to this clip. You know what I'm saying? Lastly, last play I'll touch on about Tua was, well, for me, the pass where Tyreek Hill had to go up and one-handed, right?
Yeah.
You remember? All right. So Tyreek Hill had to go up and one-handed, and it looked bad. Like, what's going on here? This is why cornerback is the most important position in football. after quarterback and left tackle. This is why cornerback is so important. Receivers have option routes where it's not just a 7 where you run 10 yards and you go do a run to the pylon like a flag route. Almost every route has an option in the route. If Tyreek Hill has leverage on the corner, the chemistry would say, all right, Tua knows that he has outside leverage or inside leverage or leverage on him with the speed. He's going to go up top with him. Or if Tyreek Hill doesn't have leverage because the corner is dropping back and like, now I'm not getting beat, Tyreek Hill should cut that route off. So because they only have 3 months together of chemistry, Tua probably thought, okay, he's going to cut this route off. Or Tyreek Hill thought, okay, I have leverage on him. And then that's how you get a pass like, yo, what was that? What were y'all did not think the same thing. You see what I'm saying? And that's why Edelman and 12 had so much chemistry in the years because they played with each other for so long. And that's why you get Cooper Kupp and Stafford, where it's like, yo, we just pass to each other and that's it. There's nobody else on that team. It's just me and you the whole Super Bowl. You feel me? So yeah, you're gonna have that, and that's not the concept of the route where it's just a egregious pass.
Yeah, like that pass in particular, like, so I've seen that play back a few times. It's like ball snapped. Tua's looking at Tyreek Hill and it's like, you know what? I'm picking my guy and I'm letting it fly, and I'm gonna say to 10, go make a play, and he makes a play. And I think overall, it's one of those things where this is just my opinion of watching the game back once and a few clips on Twitter and stuff like that. It was a okay performance with boneheaded moments where it's just like, Tua, we get it. You've throughout your entire college career, and it's also one of those things where it's where he got some of these injuries in college, where it's like, dude, sometimes it's okay to throw the ball away and live to fight another day. You don't always need to try and make a play every single play. It's one of those things where he, in certain moments, he's trying to make a play. He's holding on to the ball for a bit too long, especially when friend of the podcast, Austin Jackson and Devon Armstead have gone out, and then Greg Little's gone out. It's like, you know what? You've gone through your progressions and something on, scramble out and throw it away. So you're not in the pocket. And again, the people in the front row have a Tua thrown match ball souvenir. Perfect. Well done. You won the prize for today. And like you said on the last podcast, and hopefully it doesn't come up again, there's a few times where he's taken a sack, and it's like, I can just about throw this away so that it's not a sack, and perfect. But when you do that and you get that awkward, it looks like a slipper now and it could be a fumble, dude, bring the ball in, take the sack. If it means you're 2nd and 17, 3rd and 24, it is what it is. But that's better than you trying to throw the ball away. It's given a fumble and is picked up and is taken back the other way. That's just, again, in my opinion, from someone who has never played quarterback in his life, it's just boneheaded moments where he needs to clean up a bit. And I would like to think McDaniel will say to him, listen, dude, I know you're a dude. The team knows you're a dude. Let's just clean up a bit.
Not only that, it will prevent injury.
Yeah.
Like, bro, why are you taking these hits? You don't have to take these hits. So, yeah, man. But I'll tell you this. I think we're an O-line away from a Super Bowl. I'm going to be real with you. If the O-line is fixed, there's no defense that can scheme up like defenses against Waddle and Tyreek Hill. And I am convinced that Mike McDaniel is saying, yo, either Waddle's going to have 8 catches and Hill has 12 targets and then the rest goes to checkdowns, or vice versa. Like, I really believe like McDaniel's like, yo, it's Waddle and Hill and the running backs. I don't have the tight ends that I want, and this is what it's going to look like. Cedric Wilson, we didn't know we were going to get Tyreek Hill. That's why you got paid $7.5 million. You know what I'm saying? Like, dead serious.
Do you know what? But I think to further that point, I think that's also why, and we're both fans of this guy, I think that's why they tag Gesicki as well. Because like, we're going to go into this season with Cedric Wilson, Jalen Waddle, and Gesicki. and we'll make it work. And when when Coach McDaniel gets a phone call saying, "Yo, we're bringing in Tyreek Hill," it's like, "Oh, this is perfect." And then it's also like, we just franchise tag Mike Gesicki. Oh well, we'll make it work. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're not going to unfranchise tag Mike Gesicki, but you're not going to not pick up Tyreek Hill. So listen, we might get another week where Gesicki only gets one target. That would be an app. Like, I would hate to see it happen, but if Hill and Waddle going off and Edmonds is going off in the passing game, we don't have multiple balls or multiple plays. You can only throw the ball to one person. And listen, Gesicki is great at catching contested catches, but if you've got guys wide open and Gesicki, and again, I sound like I'm now having a go with Gesicki. I'm not, but Gesicki's Dolphins career has normally been catch, get tackled, cool, fair enough, first down. When you can throw the ball to Jalen Waddle, 3 guys around him, and he's gone, what can you do?
You said you sound like you having to go at Gesicki, and you're not. I don't know what this is gonna sound like, but Gesicki, my dog. But I'm ready to improve the O-line this year. Like, I'm ready to move on from Gesicki and any other movable piece that we have, including premium draft picks right now to improve the O-line right now. I'm not waiting. We're in week 2 of the 2022 season. Week 2. I'm not waiting a whole season to improve the O-line. I want to do it right now. I'm using assets, whether it's players or picks and picks right now to improve the O-line because my window is here.
You said it's week 2, yeah? You said it on the last episode. It was one play, the first snap of the season, and Tua is catching the ball up here. If that's like timeout. Yo, Chris Greer, get on the phone right now. Get a center. Listen, I know we've trained all summer with the 5. Okay, we haven't trained because Teron Armstead has been missing. But you know what I mean? You've had Connor Williams and then Liam Eichenberg left guard. That first snap should have been, okay, we're getting a center. Williams going back to left guard, and we'll make it work.
And then you fix 2 positions.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to be clear. Williams had no penalties, unlike when he did in Dallas. I think he was like 3rd in the league. Don't put that on me, but he was one of the highest penalized O-linemen last year was Connor Williams. So he didn't have any penalties, and he blocked well at center. Just the snaps are the issue. I want to be clear as of right now. When you move Connor Williams to left guard, his natural position, you fix 2 positions. You fix left guard and you fix center, obviously, if you bring in the center. So I'm ready to, at the minimum, bring in the center. Then, if y'all want to talk some premium picks, I'm open for business, bro. I'm ready for the right tackle to be fixed. That brings us so much depth. Like it just, and now you're ready.
So your feet are once again to the fire. Looks like you're losing legs. It's one of those days.
Yeah, but I got bailed out because the Dolphins are going to beat the Ravens. So I got bailed out with that one. Give me the next one. What we got?
Perfect. You've got your Chris Greer hat on right now.
Choo.
And you can only sign one offensive line position. Center or right tackle?
You mean trade for one?
Yeah, I said fix because.
Oh, all right. I thought you said sign. So if you're saying fix, so I can only fix one position, right?
Yeah.
Right now. See, if I fix center, then that means I fix left guard too.
Ding, 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 ding. Yeah.
I'm just saying, but I do like my quarterback's blind side to be protected. You know what I'm saying? So this is tough. Feet to the fire. And I know this is not the answer you want because I'm going to see who's available. Like if I would have to know who I'm choosing between, but if you just said top of the line center, top of the line right tackle, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna cheat a little bit. I'm gonna go top of the line right tackle, still put Connor Williams at left guard, and have Michael Dieter play center. Like, at least I know everything else is fixed, and Michael Dieter will be the weak link now.
Yeah, no, it's interesting because you get the situation where we lost Tua for 4 games last year because there was a turnstile right tackle, and we just saw Brandon Jones scared the life out of McCorkle Jones, and like if you see the picture, it's like, like it's so funny. He's not expecting it. Like Brandon Jones is like, and then the ball's gone. So yeah, listen, you can get a new right tackle, the best right tackle in the league, and if they double team him and someone gets free, there's nothing you can do. It is what it is. I think I'd go center because, like you said, you fix 2 positions, you fix center and you fix left guard. And I also think prior to his injury, friend of the podcast, Austin Jackson, looked like he was, on the right track and stuff like that.
And we thought he was going to be an issue, like a dog in the run game too.
Yeah. So I think if you can sign a top center, then yeah, you're sorted. But once again, this just go back to, during the summer when we got our first round pick taken away from us, and then we're like, oh, it doesn't matter, we got 2. No, it does matter because we could have traded.
It does matter
because we could have traded away our first round pick for a premium. Like, okay, maybe you have to wait a few weeks, but if the Cowboys don't get Dak back in 4 or 5 weeks and they are 0-6, and like, you know what? The season's done. Let's see if we can get some picks back because we're paying Zeke so much money. This is pointless. Dak, listen, people say Tua is injury prone. Dak's picking up a lot of injuries. Like, I'm not. Someone has to say it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they bring in another quarterback, but they retool the team. Maybe some of those offensive linemen have to go. Miami should be like, yo, we've got a first round pick. There you go. So it's going to be interesting. But yeah, I think that offensive line, we both know your boy Chris Greer is always on the lookout for how to improve the team. And right now, trading away Mike Gesicki for a premium offensive lineman seemed like the way to go.
I'm not gonna lie. There's a chance had we had 2 picks, the Dolphins are picking 28th, and San Fran is in the top 5. That 5th pick gets flipped twice. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shout out to Laramie Tunsil, by the way. You feel me? So there's a chance, but when you only have 1 pick, and that pick is, in my opinion, going to be in the high 20s or later, you can only flip that so much. So that's where we are. We about to slide into bonus time. You want to get something in there before we slide?
My genuine apologies. Today was meant to be the Javon Holland and Madden giveaway. I haven't had time to do the wheel. So I promise you. If not, at me, jump my mentions, call me every name under the sun.
At Kadeem Simmons.
Listen, at Kadeem Simmons, K_Simmons at hotmail.co.uk. Hit me up in the emails. I promise you, the Bengals, the Ravens preview show, as well as No Huddle, Easy Money, we will have giveaways. So that's, if there's a reason to come back, those are the reasons.
Fins Up Friday episode is next, and apparently, after y'all at Kadeem Simmons, we're gonna be giving some stuff away. Y'all know what time it is. Stay positive, test negative. For Kadeem Simmons, I'm Charlie Touche. Thank you for tuning in this time. Make sure you catch us next time on Go Time. Already.
Lose they mind when it's your time, and it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time, cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Don't waste no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time, and it's show time. Going all out when it's go time.
see how I took the sack, Kadeem? I didn't just try to keep going through it. I just ate it. Like, all right, I messed up. Let me take the sack.
How you gonna mess up my name like that? Like,
all right, Kareem.
I get that so often. Like, it is what it is. People get my name wrong so often. I'm used to it by now. Did you expect? I wouldn't say the secondary, mostly Kader Kohu, I guess. I think Elijah Campbell came in at one point. Keon Croston was like, he got at the second fastest speed in week 1 of the NFL. Do you think this secondary can maintain this level until Byron Jones returns?
Make no mistake, Keon Croston is a special teamer. He's not the best on playing defense. But to answer your question, that's tough because you got Lamar Jackson next, Josh Allen, and Joe Burrow. That's tough, bro, because you got Lamar Jackson next, Josh Allen, and Joe Burrow. So
Chase, Stephon Diggs, it's a jump up from Devontae Parker and Kendrick Bourne.
I'm gonna say you can hide some things, and momentum plays a lot with everyone. Like, everyone plays better when you're winning. Like, you beat Buffalo or you beat Baltimore, you're 2-0. Everyone's talking about, maybe not about you yet, depending on what that W looks like in Baltimore. You already believe in yourself. We already believe we should be a team to be considered as playoff teams. Then you go into Buffalo, depending on what that game looks like. And this is still answering your question. Depending on what that game looks like, I'm not a moral victory participation trophy person, but you got to imagine if Diggs doesn't go off for 11 catches and 2 touchdowns, you're going to feel good about yourself depending on what that game looks like. You know what I'm saying? So then I think you come out of Cincinnati with a W. So there's a chance we're 3-1, bro. Like, not even. Did I get that math right? Yeah, there's a chance you're 3-1 coming out the gauntlet. So it's not about. Man, I don't know, bro. I guess the answer to your question is I don't know. But I do know that we have a mentality where one person don't stop no show. One person don't stop no show, and we're going to come in, we're going to ball. And I don't think anyone on the Dolphins team is thinking, dang, we gotta hold down the fort until we get Byron Jones back. I think everyone's like, oh, yeah, we still that team.
Yeah, it's interesting because we're going to go from playing McCorkle Jones, Devontae Parker, and Kendrick Bourne to not so much the Ravens, but when you play Buffalo and you got Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, and Gabe Davis. Like, Gabe Davis is he's a dude. Like, you have to legit be like, okay, X can do his best to shadow Diggs, but we have to genuinely watch out for Gabe Davis, who had 4 or 5 touchdowns against the Chiefs, had another touchdown last week, week 1. It's one of those things where, teams might put up yards against this Dolphins defense, but the one thing this Dolphins defense does really well is stop you run up the score on them. So you might be able to get between the 20 and the 20, but once you get into the red zone, the Dolphins tend to do really, really well. Ogba's going to keep on getting better. Jalen Phillips going to keep on getting better. And again, this Dolphins safety duo of friend of the podcast, Javon Holland and Brandon Jones.
Friend of the podcast, Brandon Jones.
That's what I said.
Well, you said friend of the podcast, Javon Holland.
No, I said friends, as in with an S at the end.
I didn't hear the S.
Well, I apologize. It's the accent. It's me mumbling. Friends of the podcast, Javon Holland and Brandon Jones. And as I said that, I spat on the mic. See? That's what happens.
see.